Hello everyone. Today's video is about what should you know before preparing for the technical interview. And now we have four CPA as a panelist to share some idea about their experience. So let's go to the introduction. Anaga?
Yeah, sure. Hello, everyone, and welcome back again. And today we are going to discuss about how to prepare for technical interviews, and we are going to discuss some of our experiences that will help you to better prepare for your interviews. And let's start away.
So the first question will be, what are freely available material to prepare from? Like what kind of material do you use to prepare for the interview?
Yeah, the first well-known material is the LeetCode. You can practice the coding problem. You can select the level of the problem, and also you can select the topic of the problem. So beyond this, I think the HackRank is also a good material for coding practice.
Okay. Yeah, LeetCode is great. I would also recommend the LeetCode Premium because you can filter questions by specific companies, which is great. So if you have an interview coming up with, say, Amazon, you can filter down to just the questions that have been recently asked by Amazon, so you have a better idea of what to prepare for. Another thing I would say is Glassdoor. A lot of people, they have interview experiences on there, and you can filter by most recent. So you can try to see what kind of questions were most recently asked and then kind of go off of that. I've had success with that previously. I had an interview with Capital One and I went to Glassdoor and I filtered by most recent questions. And a few of the questions that were most recently asked were asked during my interview. So I was able to do well in that.
Glassdoor have a good platform, and then they really update it all the time.
Also, I would like to add, even on YouTube, you'll see there are plenty of YouTubers who kind of share their experience of various interviews, and also they share how to solve particular questions that are asked in Google, Amazon. So that is also a really good platform.
For those easier algorithm questions, you can go through the LeetCode. And when you go to the harder, like Google, and they are always ask those hard questions, I think YouTube have a really good explanation of those questions. So now we can jump into next questions. So what are some efficient tricks for preparing the interview?
Yeah, maybe I can go here. I wouldn't say it's a efficient trick, but I think first thing that you should do is to start practicing the questions. Perhaps a question or two a day, and based on the difficulty level, which is easy, medium, and hard, you can pick up some of the questions from all these categories across the data structures and across the companies. And that way, I think it just helps you to build your confidence on, practicing different types of questions, and then how can improve on your understanding about the different data structures, your ability to identify questions and the patterns of those questions, and identifying the which data structure or which pattern fits for this particular problem. Once you start preparing in that sense, I think it gets easier and easier and efficient.
Yeah, for me, I don't like start 2 questions a day. I would rather do 10 questions in a day in a short period of time. I will focus on different type of data structure and just focus on one structure at a time. And you will have a better memory of the connections, like why we need to use this structure and what kind of problem is solving using this data structure. I think it's really efficient that way.
Also, one more trick that I do while preparing is whenever I solve a particular LeetCode problem, I check through the solutions as well to understand the different and efficient ways in which they have solved. Also, reading through the solutions gives you more idea about existing algorithms that you might not have known. So yeah, that is a really good way to kind of keep yourself up with the efficient ways to solve problems.
Cool. So anything to add? Cool. So we can come to the next one. So how does a fully prepared candidate look like? And how do you think this person will pass?
Okay, to me, it's like sometimes a fully prepared candidate will be like super confident with their answer. Like when I ask about their experience from their resume, they can explain their experience very well with the technical details. Also, like they can explain what they did good, what they did not good.
So yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, sure. So according to me, a fully prepared candidate is the one who is able to kind of understand the question better. He's able to come up with a solution, a naive one, and after that progressively reach towards a more efficient algorithm. While doing so, he must also be a person who is thinking out loud so that the interviewer is able to understand the algorithm. Also, once you are done with your program, you can have a dry run over the program so that even the interviewer is confident about it running well. So I think that is a impression of a good candidate.
I think I agree with that opinion. And also things like if a candidate understand the question first, and right away he know what kind of data structure is going to be helpful, and the difference between data structure and what kind of question can be solved faster with the specific data structure. That demonstrate the ability of how good the fundamental of the computer science and data structure. So that might be one of the quality of a fully prepared candidate.
Also, one more thing I would like to add here is while you're preparing for the technical interviews, sometimes it happens that the questions that will be asked to you will be diverse. So having a basic foundation about networks, about a system design is a really a good thing to have for a computer science student.
For me, a fully prepared candidate must show his or her ability of debugging. Like if I were an interviewer, I don't really mind whether a program will pass all test case for the first time, but I do really care about the debugging ability. So prepared candidates should test their own program and find their bugs inside the program.
Yeah, a person can take care of all the edge cases. That's a really important skills. Exactly. Cool. We'll jump into next question. What is one final piece of advice you would like to provide for preparation of the interview? So I will go first. So to prepare efficiently, I would suggest if you just started preparation, we can always go to the easy one and popular one, fully understand the basic algorithm. That's really efficient, not only doing the algorithm, but also it's a good process of warming up coding language itself. So in order to have less error on syntax problem, so you have large amount of practice of easy questions to keep up your confidence, in the same time have a muscle memory of how the syntax works. So that's really important.
Yeah, so true. I would like to add something to that. Also, it happens that while you're solving for the beginners, it becomes difficult to solve a question within an hour or so. So don't get demotivated. Just motivate yourself, maintain the pace, and you'll be able to solve the problems quickly.
I'll also add one thing in. One thing that I think would be very helpful starting out is to, before you even start going to trying to solve questions, I would say take out a pen and paper and start implementing a lot of the basic data structures and algorithms from scratch. That way, it really forces you to think deeply about how they work and in understanding them. And once you're able to do that well, then you can start to move on to questions.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Also, one experience that don't prepare your resume until you want to take interviews. You know, it's like all the experience from your schoolwork, maybe even 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Like if you try to memorize after 3 years, it's very hard. So it's like when you're doing that, maybe schoolwork, you should write it down at that time, you know, as a materials for your future resumes material. Even at that time, you know, you already prepared this project for your future's interview, and this will help you a lot.
Yeah, basically document everything you do during the project.
Document in front. Don't wait until last minute. You know, it's like
sure.
That's from like sometimes I talk with some of my classmates who want to do mock interview with me. It's like he lost a lot of memories, not that clear, you know. So if you prepare very well, you should explain to me very well.
Yeah, that's so true. Let's see. Okay, that's it for our advice. Thank you so much for your time to come to our event, and I will see you in the next video.